GST details, and then linking that vendor to the product. Okay. Definition of the PBS template, like in that we'll have the one PBS template ready with us for the apartments, villas, and other things, which will include the work groups, subgroups, and activity groups. Okay. And we created new project as Urban Rise City of Joy. In that project, we added the technical blocks and the lump sum blocks. Okay. Block A, block B, block C. And we added the labor block and the asset blocks, higher asset purchase blocks for lump sum purchase. Okay. Then we defined the PBS for the project. We applied the template to the project, and we added site testing to manually. We added few PBS in the project. Okay. Then we saw the definition of the ceiling budget. We allocated the amounts to the blocks A, B, C, and the lump sum blocks also. Okay. And in the lump sum blocks, we define the item categories which are included in the lump sum blocks. And item category wise budget also we added. In the ceiling budget, we define the work group wise budget also. Then we define the detail budget for the blocks, which is less than the ceiling budget. And in the detail budget, we also define the budget for the activity groups. Okay. We saw that approval workflow and everything in this, both the things, ceiling and detail. Then we moved to the estimate budget, where we estimated the activity groups and we added the activity. And based on the activity, the product details were auto-populating. And then we released the budget for the estimated activities. Okay. So we reached till the release budget yesterday. And today we are going to see the work order process. So yesterday's released items only, we'll take it forward and we'll create the work request, then the hire order and the labor order, which will be similar to the work request part. So yeah, so this is the today's agenda of completing this work order, hire order, and labor order process. And if time permits, we'll see the revision of the ceiling budget and detail budget.
Hello. Hello, Syed.
Hello. Yeah.
Yeah, everyone joined. You can start.
Yeah. So today's session. So yesterday we saw that ceiling budget and all the things, ceiling defining of the PBS, business partner, product, ceiling budget, detail budget, estimate, and the last part was the releasing of the budget. Okay. So So after release, the next process will be like work order, how to create the work order based on the purchase request, higher order, labor order, and the material orders basically. Okay. So in today's session, we are going to see how to create work request, hire request, and labor request, and creating order from those requests. Okay. So I'm just logging into the system. Okay. So I logged into the system. I'll start with the last step, which is release budget. I'll just check that again. Okay. So yesterday we saw in the release budget, we released the quantity for door from enamel painting work and one coat of professional exterior primer. These are the work request elements, and some of the materials like exterior primer paint. For these materials, we release the quantity. Okay. So the quantity has been released. It has been confirmed by the team. Then the next part will be the creating the purchase request. Okay. For that, I'll click on this quick launch option and I'll type in the requisition. Okay. I'll select the requisition option from the quick launch. Okay. This requisition form will open up in the list view first. Okay. So if we want to create new record, then we'll click on the create record in a new form. Okay. In this case, we are creating a new record. Okay. So based on the roles, the organization will be auto populating here. So in current case, I default set the Urban Rise Builders LLP. Okay. For the requisition, I'll select the type as a work request. Okay. I'll select the project, City of Joy, and I'll select the block as a block A. Okay. And I'll save this record. Okay. So we can auto populate this data also. We can set the default data for the based on the user also. Let's suppose any particular guy is only creating document as work request. We can default set the document types and project for him so that he don't have to select. The user will only select the block A and then continue of the next process. Okay. But for now, I didn't set anything because I have a lot of project access, and so I want to select it manually. Okay. So organization will be default auto populating based on the user role. The document type I selected was the work request. The project I selected is Urban Rise City of Joy, and I selected the block A. Okay. So this document number gets auto populated based on the document type, which is work request. Okay. Now the next step is to add the work into the request. So as we release this to work request, okay. So to call this released previous request, what I'll do, I'll click on this add PR lines button. Okay. As soon as I click on this add PR lines button, it will show me the items which are already released. These are the two activities has been released, this PBS code, and these are the estimation quantity. Okay. So system will auto populate those elements over here. Okay. So for whatever work I want to release the purchase request, work request, I'll encode here the quantity. I can encode the partial quantity also. I can encode the full quantity also. Okay. So let's suppose for first part, I'll encode the 1000. Okay. And for the one coat of professional exterior primer, I'll encode the full quantity. Okay. And I'll click on this done button. Okay. That means I'm calling the PBS works based on the PBS all the work elements here and add creating requests for this two work activities. Okay, I'll process this one. After processing this will get added into this work request. Okay, same element, whatever quantity we requested, it will show up here, 1000 and 1500. Okay, the default pricing will come up from the system, core and fry, which is we mentioned in this one activity. Okay, so this is just the extra information. Whichever need to hide, we can hide that elements from based on the user logins like this. If we don't want to show anything to that user, then we can remove those elements from the listing also, so that that person doesn't see the element of the other things. Okay, so this is the work request, and I added these two align items with this project PBS painting, ceiling painting and wall painting. Okay,
Mr. Syed, can you compile 2 to 3 work
sorry,
requests? Can you compile? Now you are raising against one worker
yes,
request, right? Can you compile 2 or 3 worker requests?
compile 2 or 3 work requests, please.
Yeah, it's a like in requisition to order. We are selecting no, sir. Yeah, that is next step we are showing.
Yeah, so that will be the next step. So this is just the work request where just the site team is saying that okay, we need to perform this activity or this work, and they're just requesting based on the releases. Okay, this work request will be sent for the approval. Okay, and that site admin or project manager will approve this, and then it will come to the contracts team for the further processing. Okay, so I'll send this for the approval. Okay, so document has been sent for the approval. So approval details will be seen in this field group, approval field group. So EN2422 is the Vandana's ID. So we
Syed 123 password.
okay. So now I need to log into the Vandana's account. So site team basically create this site admin or whoever the person at a site, he will create this work request and send for the approval, and the project in charge or anybody HOD of this one, he will approve this one. Okay. So with Vandana's login and again opening the requisition screen. I'll filter on the City of Joy project. I'll see that request. Okay. So this document is in the draft status. That means it is pending for approval. The approval is waiting. Okay. You can see the approval button is only visible to the Vandana's user ID, whoever is the approver. Okay. I'll click on this approve. And this document will get frozen and will get approved. Okay. So you can see the approval is done and approval status become approved. Okay. So all the notification after approving, it will go to the purchase team or contracts team saying that, okay, this request has been approved. Please do the further processing. Okay. So the next step the contract team will be doing is going to the requisition to order screen. Okay.
Sayal, this is where Jan Prakash was asking, can I combine two requisitions, two requests into a single order if I am releasing it to the same contractor?
Yeah, so we can combine that two requests. So here you can see the two requests are there. So it is only one requisition which is having the two line items. One is of the one quote of professional exterior primer and the door frame enamel painting works. So both the items we can give it to the same contractor, and one work order will get created against these two line items.
No, Sayed. Against two requisitions, he's asking, can we club those two requisitions to one order?
Yes, yes, that is also possible. So it will
Yes.
just populate over here, and then one more this one will be there. So we can club the two requests into order, but the line items will be shown individually based on the requisition. Okay. Yeah. So this is the first item. Painting works at this one. I'll double click and open this one. So this has all the details. What is the requisition number? What is the PBS? What is the PBS code? What items what is the service we are taking from this one? And in the business partner section, we have to select the contractor. So in this case, I added the Abbas as the contractor. Okay. Here the PO quantity has to be mentioned. So request quantity is 1500. I can put the less than that one also, or equal to the request quantity also. So the PO quantity I am mentioning here is 1500, and the pricing, this will be the unit price. For your reference, the list price will be shown here. That means you have to encode the price less than this or equal to this. So in this case, I'll put the same quantity, same price. Okay, I'll save this record. I can click on this, go to the next record option here to get the next line item into my window. So you can see the next line item is showing here, door frame enamel painting works. I can go back also, go to previous record and see the previous record also. So these are the two options where we can go individual record wise ahead and back. So I'll click on this one and I'll select again the vendor, same vendor as Abbas. Okay. And I'll release the lesser quantity, let's say 800, and I'll put the unit price as 4. Okay. I'll save these records. So after filling out the information about that PO quantity confirmation and the price confirmation, I'll go to the list view again. Okay, I can select all by clicking on this checkbox, select all, uncheck this one, it will unselect everything. So I selected both the orders and I can say create orders. So system will create the work order for Abbas for these two line items. So single work order will get created for this item, for this work basically, and this PO quantity. So the requested quantity is 1500 and 1000, but PO quantity we mentioned as a 1500 and 800. So the next second line item will be open for the 200 quantity, for which we can release the work order in a later date or after some time also. So it is just the partial quantity and full quantity I want to show in this case. Okay. So I'll select this item as a create order. Let me check the document I was there. Just a minute. Create order. Let me check. Let me check. Something is wrong with the product setting.
Did we add Abbas in the product method
Yeah,
mapping?
that's what I'm just checking in this one.
It's already there.
Service work description. Saying after development. I'll check both the items.
Can you come to document type once?
Yeah.
Work order, no?
Yeah. So I created work. Okay, work request I checked. I'll just filter on the document type. Just give me a minute. I'm just checking.
Hello, Butana. Hello.
Yeah,
But in the screen, most of the fields are related to PO, purchase order only. Why it is coming there? Purchase order category, PO quantity.
You read it as order quantity. The work
Yeah,
order
work order
quantity.
quantity only. And then some category also it is showing that purchase order purchase order.
So that's what. So that is again work category. Right? We are using the common.
And then work
no?
contract type, whether they are labor or with material contract or it's a lump sum contract. That field also not there. And then once work order
It is there.
That is,
We'll do that. Contract is there.
and also once work order request raised means it should come to work order preparation screen only. Again, one more screen we are going. We are editing some description of work and then entering the quantity. Then
Repeat that. Once work order is created.
once work order request is created, we should go to work order preparation screen only directly. Here, what we are doing now, we are selecting the work order request and then we are editing the work order request, adding some description of work and then saving it, and then we are going to work order preparation screen.
So, Syed showed the work request screen as a QS team. So that part will be done by the site engineer. So we will not be doing that. The site engineer will enter the work request.
No,
and
that
here
is
he is talking about requisition to order screen. Why it is coming like
okay,
that?
requisition to order screen. The requisition to order screen is, say, in Quadra also you get like a pop-up window where you can select all the lines and you add, right?
Mm.
So this is similar to that. So in requisition to order screen, you select lines, click create, and it will create an order. And from then you are going to the order screen directly.
So, for example, 4 requests means 4 requests I have to select and then create order means it will go automatically, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, so you can create all. Let's say you
Not
want to create
required
one.
to
You
edit
create four.
anything.
Click 4 lines. You click 4 lines. You select and you click order, create order. It will create one order for all lines.
Okay. And then I can edit the quantity in the preparation screen.
Yes.
Okay.
So you want to reduce, but you will not be able to increase more than the request.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
will
that is
always be
okay.
able to reduce or increase up to the request amount.
Okay.
And if you cancel that, again you can create a new order. It will release the request quantity and you can recreate the order.
Okay.
With the same same screen we will use again for higher order, contact order also. So that's why you might see some fields which are not
Yes, yes.
mandatory, but most of the description, right? Description is
we
there
can
in all.
remove some because some fields are not required. We can remove it, right?
So we will hide. So what we will do now? So we will take it down, below down, so which are not needed, so that you don't have to see them in the first, as soon as you open the screen.
Okay. And yesterday session, practice session, you are not given anything.
We'll give the practice session along with user manual after all 3 sessions.
After all, then we will forget first session.
No. See, it is a link only, right? And I think that's a good point. Now, what I wanted to know is who all will be creating till release? Will it be you for Chennai or anyone else for Chennai? Gyan Prakash? No, I'm asking who all will need access to create or do the steps till release, like release estimation.
Training model will give you all. Everyone will try.
Okay.
We will take the commands and then we will take it.
Wait,
Okay,
I'll check it out. Do not process that request.
Okay, I got it. So then what we'll do, we'll let everyone create. So maybe everyone can, maybe we'll put their name in the project.
They also should understand the process now, from where it is starting. Then only they also feel the system.
No, I'm thinking if everyone is working on the same project, it will be confusing to each other, right? We will put something, someone else may edit it. So maybe we'll create, let's say project with, in the project name itself, we'll keep the testing person's name. Let's say we'll put Gyan Prakash, so you can use that.
Okay.
That way everyone can test one project. It will be easy.
Yeah, that is. I will tell you that one.
Okay.
Yeah, Harish, I'm back. You guys can see my screen here?
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm on the requisition to order screen. Okay. And we selected the business partner and we encoded the amounts. Okay. And now the create order process. I'll click on the create order. And this will create the work order in the order screen. So, okay, you can see that the one line item for the full quantity we released the order, so that got removed. And for this, the pending quantity is 200. So this line stays into the requisition to order screen. That means only the pending portion in the requisition order to screen will keep on showing up. Okay. So the one order got created in the order screen. So I'll go to the order screen. Okay. And in the order screen, we'll see for Urban Rise Builder LLP, City of Joy project, there will be one order created. So I'll just filter on the builder LLP. Okay, so this order got created. Okay, and it is having those two items where for door frame enamel painting was we added 800 quantity, and for one coat we added full quantity as 1500. Okay, so all the data will be filled in based on the requisition. Okay, and all the vendor details will be pulled from the vendor master, his payment terms, address, and everything. Okay, so if at all additional information need to be done, that you can add it into the more information section, delivery notes or description. And for the contract, the more important part will be the terms and condition. Okay, so I forgot to show you the terms and condition templates here. So there are terms and condition templates here: work order terms and condition, work order template 2, PO terms and conditions. Okay, so there is a master for the terms and condition. Okay, so this is the one template. In this template, I just added the 3 lines: work order terms and condition. All rates are excluding taxes. GST will be paid extra 30 days from the date of bill.
You are breaking.
Hello? Is it correct now?
Others hear you. Can others hear, Syed?
Yeah, I can hear you.
No, I'm just asking others. Is everyone able to hear Syed in the last 2-3 minutes?
Yeah, I can.
Okay. So maybe it is just our. Syed,
Yeah,
sorry,
so
continue.
this is the second template. So you can keep on creating the template for the work order terms and condition. This is template 2, which is having lot of payment terms and all the work related information given in this one. Okay, so in the order, I can choose any of the template from the list, and the same terms and condition will get auto populated in this one. You can see same terms and condition you can see in the order screen for that work order. Okay, if at all you want to change anything in the template, you can change by just typing into that one. Okay, so this work order is got created based on the requisition. Okay, we added the terms and condition for this work order. Okay, and the important element is the retention. Okay, here we can mention the retention for that guy. It could be 2.5% or 5%. Okay, and we'll save this order thing, and then
Syed,
yes,
here can you show that contract type? One drop down is there, no?
yes. So the contract type is here.
Yeah.
In the terms and conditions sections, we have the contract type: labor, lump sum, work contract. I'll select here as a work contract, and I'll save this record by clicking on this C option. Okay, so we added the retention, we added the contract type, and we added the terms and condition extra into the order screen. Those are the only changes we done in the screen. Okay, and then we'll send this order for the approval.
No, before that, can you show the draft order print?
Yeah. So the print option is here. You can see the printer icon is added on the menu bar. So I can click on this print record. It will toast up just asking for the confirmation, and then it will get downloaded here. So this will show as a draft work order in the name also and in the watermark also. And against which request number this got created, the details of the contractor, and basically the PBS and the details of the work activity. The terms and condition, again, it will start showing up whatever we encoded in this one, and at the end we'll see the authorized signatory, and we accept the order for this one. So this will be the draft work order. and after approval, it will be the complete work order section in this one. Okay. So let's send this order for the approval. I'll click on send for approval. The document will be sent for the approval. Now in this case, approver and the doer is the same one. So I'll see this approve option because I logged in with the Vandana's user. And this alert will keep on counting for each and every approval pending for approval. The alerts will be sent to the approver saying that, okay, this document number is waiting for this work order number, or this material order number, or this asset hire number is pending for the approval. Okay, and then user can log in into the system and check the alert section and then keep on go to that record and approve that orders. Okay, so I'll approve this work order. So after approval, this will be frozen. I can approve or reject. That in case of rejection, you have to write the reject reason why we are rejecting, so that doer can again go back and check the terms and condition, change the terms and condition, or the retention, or the types, or anything. Okay, so I'm approving this document for now, and I'll click on done. So as soon as I click done, this record gets frozen. You can see this becomes read only. Okay, and then against this, we need to get the receipt of the work, that is mbook entry we have to do against this order. Should we do it?
Before the service or goods receipt or billing part usually is not done by this team. That is done by PS and billing team. So we will do that at the end of the session if additional time is there. But can we finish the higher order and labor order cycles?
Yes, yes. So this is about the order screen, and we'll see the higher order and the labor order part. So we'll go back to the requisition screen and create the higher order and the labor order. Okay. So I again came back to this requisition screen. Okay. I'll create on the create new record. I'll select the labor request. Okay. I'll select the project, City of Joy. I have the labor block defined for the labor request. So I need to select the labor block to request for the labors. Okay. So I'll select the labor block and I'll save this record. So as soon as I select this labor block, the create request button will start showing up. Okay. I'll click on the create request button. So now it will give me the two options, either lump sum or is sundry. So this labor block is lump sum block. So I need to click on the is lump sum, and it will show all the labor details here. You can see electrician, unskilled labor, welder. These are the just sample data we added. Machine, female coolie, skilled labor. Okay. Here we need to select the relevant this thing. So let's suppose I need a unskilled labor and electrician. I'll put the quantities over. Let's take 10 days, and unskilled labor I need 15 days. Okay, and I'll click on done. So these two types of labor get added into the request. Okay, so I'll click on done. So these two things got added into my labor request element. So 15 days for the unskilled labor. Okay, and for electrician it is 10. Okay.
Syed, you can add description and show, no?
Yeah. So you can add the description for this labor, like where it is needed, why it is needed, electrician for which work. Okay, I just added some description as electric work at model flat, and for unskilled labor, I'll put some construction work for block B and B. Okay, so you can type in as much as you want in the description box. Okay, and the same description will be carry forward to the order, labor order basically. Okay, so in this, the only activity I did in the, I added the extra information as a description in the lines. Okay, and after adding this description, I'll send this labor request for the approval. Okay, by clicking on this send for approval button. Okay, I'll click on done. So this labor request has been sent for the approval. Okay, in this case, I myself is logged in with the Vandana role, so it will show me the approval button. It will show me the submitted date, and after approval, it will show me the approval date. Okay, I'll click on this approve, and I'll approve this labor request. Sorry. So the labor request will get approved. Okay, and then I'll again follow the same process. I'll go to the requisition to order screen. Okay, I'll just refresh here. So you will see that two quantity has been added. One is the electrician and the unskilled labor. Two line items got added with the same quantity, 10 and 15, whichever we encoded into the requisition. This requisition. Okay, 10 and 15 quantity. So in the requisition to order, the same data will get auto populated.
Sayed, I can't hear you.
Hello?
Sayed.
Hello? Hello? Yeah. So in this, so now let's suppose I want to give this labor order for unskilled labor. So again, I have to select the vendor from the list. Again, I added the Abbas in this one, and the PO quantity is a requested quantity is 15. I'll encode same. I'll put the price. It is 200 per labor, so I'll put the 200 here. Okay, and then I'll go for the electrician. Here, I'll again select the vendor as a pass, and I'll put the quantity as 10. For electrician, the list price is 5,000. I'll make some changes into this one. I'll make it 2,000. Okay.
Sayed, what about tax?
So it is based on the definition of the product. So you can see in the product, there is already tax category has been mentioned for that one.
Sayed, maybe the question is how to review the tax, right? See, it is automatically coming,
Yes.
but how can we verify that it has come correctly on the screen and maybe in the print? Maybe you can
Because
show.
few contractors not registered GST, so we will not give them GST. Few contractors registered GST, so we have to pay them GST. TDS also may vary.
No, even if it is GST register or not register, we need to apply the RCM for them, because account team will, if it is not registered, they will use the RCM and apply the GST, and which will be nullifying it out. So in any case, if that item we are purchasing in the, so that service code, SSC code, if we are purchasing at 18% or 28% tax rate, still that rate will be applied, and based on the vendor's GST registered or not registered, the RCM will get applied in the invoice screen for the information.
In the order screen,
Applied in order screen, RCM, let's say, get applied.
In
But in
tax
order
tab,
we don't want to print, right?
Yeah. So
Vandana,
okay.
hello.
Yes.
Hello.
Vandana, you are saying something.
Yes, for verifying of taxes, we can see in tax tab. In order
Yeah.
screen, tax
So in this order, yeah. So sorry, I didn't follow that one. So in the order, this is the work order which we previously created. So for these two items, the tax rate has been defined as a 9918%. To check the tax calculation, you can go to the tax tab and you can see the taxation over here. 10,700. On the 10,700, 9% CGST is coming around at 963, and SGST will be the same, 963.
TDS.
TDS will be applied at the time of purchase invoice. So in the terms and condition,
Here no purchase. Now here only work order.
yeah. So basically at the time of billing. So at the time of bill, they will deduct the needed tax rate. Account team will deduct the tax TDS as per their norms.
No, because before releasing order, while issuing order itself, we should tell them that we are this much percentage. Example, services under 10% TDS. Hello.
Yeah. So we discussed with the account team, and account team said that there could be mismatches in the order, and while the bill gets to us, the TDS percentage may change from
No,
2 to
accounts itself some classes is there because they are not deducting TDS properly. Some instead of 10%, they are deducting 1% and processing bills. What's happening?
yeah. So that's what the account team is saying, that we are the decision maker for the TDS.
No, what we are saying, we will update the TDS and then set the process as it is.
No, I didn't get your point. So what the account team is saying to us is what they communicated to us at the time of blueprint. They said, don't involve TDS portion in the order. Just write TDS as applicable, and we'll take care of at the time of billing. So whenever contracts bill received or any bill received, we will charge the TDS and will inform them that this is the TDS we deducted on this bill. Okay. So coming back to the requisition to order. So we are creating the labor order. We created the labor request and the two line items we added for this one, electrician and unskilled labor. I'll select those two items and I'll create the order. So this will create the labor order into the system for these two items. Okay. So it is pointing me the number also. I'll copy in that one. I'll go to the order screen again. And I can filter on the labor order number directly. So this will be the labor order. In this, you can see for the electrician, I applied the GST 18%. And for this unskilled labor, so it is basically based on the setting of the products. What is the SSC code you apply to that item? Based on that, it will pull the GST percentage in the order. Okay, so I just took the variation in this case. So for the electrician, it is 2000 rate and the tax is CGST, SGST. You'll see the breakup over here for that one. On 20,000 only, it will charge the 99%, that is 1800. And then for unskilled labor, it will say it is tax exempt, which is 0. Okay, so this will be the labor order. For the labor order also, all the request numbers and everything will be there. If at all we need some terms and condition, we can put the terms and condition in this one. I'll use some standard template for this one, which is work order terms and condition. And the contract will be and this we can print it out by clicking on the print button. So this will be in the draft, it will show that draft labor order. So in this will be the draft. So whatever the labor order details, it will show up in this one. Quantity day. I didn't add a retention, that's why it is showing 0. Total cost, terms and condition, and followed by the authorized signatory in this one. So this will be the draft labor order. After this, we'll send this order for the approval. And the approver will get notification through the emails and everything. If he's on the system, he will just directly filter on the orders which are pending for his approval and then approve that. So after approval, this labor order will get approved and frozen. Okay, and in the print also it will start showing up that draft watermark will go away. So in draft will go away in this case, and it will show the details of the labor order. So this will be the process of labor order, where in the requisition screen, I select the document tab as a labor request. I selected the project and selected the lump sum block of the labor. Okay. Based on that, I added the created request for the labors, unskilled labor and electrician. I sent this requisition for the approval. I get it approved. And then I went to the requisition to order screen to create the work. In this, I selected the vendor, added the quantity, and added the unit price. And then we saw that the order got created in the transaction type as a labor order whenever I click on the create order on that date, and other details we mentioned in the terms and condition and everything. Okay, and we sent for this approval and got it approved. So this is the flow for the labor order, starting with the labor request till the labor order. Okay, so the one more element in this is creating the high order. Okay, so we'll again go to the requisition screen and create the higher order. So I'll create the new request. I'll select the document tab as a higher request. So I'll use the block as higher asset block, which is lump sum block. Okay, I'll save this record. Okay, and then I'll click on the create request option. Here, whatever category linked to that higher request block, project. So I didn't add the category to the higher this one. I'll just quickly add into the ceiling budget. So I'm selecting City of Joy here. I'll see the asset higher block. I'll mention this plant and machinery, and I'll use the budget as $50,000, and I'll add the budget for the vehicle also for $75,000. I'll send for approval. Get it approved. And then I'll come back to the equation. So the ceiling budget was not defined for this block. So I define in the ceiling budget. If I click on the create request now and click on easy lump sum, it will start showing me the asset hire items: lorry, car, printer, JCB hire, shutters, car, anything. So I'll take JCB hire as the item and I'll put hours as 20 hours. And I'll take one more item as a car and I'll take 3 days. Okay. And I'll click on the done option. So this JCB hire and car will get added into the hire request line. So you can see these two JCB hire and car got added into the lines. So I'll write the description why this JCB hire: road widening, okay, and car I'll write it out for something for site visit. Okay, so I'll add the description for the both the hiring things, why I'm adding that one for site visit, and the JCB is for the road widening. Okay, so I added the description why I needed these items, JCB hire and car, and then I'll send this for the approval. After sending for approval, I'll approve this record for the hire request. After approval, this record will get frozen. Okay, and the status of the document changes to completed. So that means no more changes are allowed in this document now. Okay, so after requests get approved, it will again start showing up into the requisition to order screen. Okay, so 2 more items will get added in this one, which will be car and JCB hire. And we need to add the PO quantity, unit price, and the vendor for this one. Okay, so I'll click on JCB hire. I'll take Sri Venkateshwara Enterprises as the business partner, and for car, I'll take Ganesh Electric. I don't think it is relevant. So I'll create the JCB hire from Sri Venkatesh price. I'll take the 20 quantity. I'll take the unit price as a PO quantity as 20. And if at all if I try to add the price more than that one, it will give me the error. This is for the hire. 20 will be allowed. So this is something non-realistic example I'm taking here. JCB hire with the PO quantity 20 and the unit price 10. And then I'll click on this create order button. This will create the higher order in the system against the Sai Venkateshwara Enterprise. Okay, I'll click on create order. And this will create the higher order with this document. I'll go to the order screen again. I'll encode the document number of the higher order, and it will show me the higher order for the Sri Sai Venkateshwara Enterprises. Okay, so all the payment types of Sai Venkateshwara will come from the master, whatever you define. Here also you can add the terms and condition as per your needs. You can take it from the template or directly type in this here. I'll select this one. I'll save this record. Okay. And I'll click on the print option just to check it out, the higher order print. So this will be the higher order, which will define what material, what is the description, HSN code, amount, tax addition deduction, cost of work, total cost, and our terms and conditions. This will again show in draft if it is not approved. Category it will show plant and machinery. And I'll send this order for the approval. Okay. And then I'll approve this one. So after approval, this record gets frozen. And you can take the printout again for the higher order without watermark. The watermark will go away and the taxation will show up in the based on the items we used. So this will be the higher order process, which will be similar to our process for everything. And after this order process, the GRN and the purchase invoicing parts will start away. So these are the key factors for the contract teams to create the orders, like request for hire. So we created hire requests, labor requests, and work requests. Okay. And we went to the requisition to order screen and process those requests. And we created the order for those items. If I filter on this one and if I remove the documents, it will show me the 3 orders which we created. One is labor order, one is work order, and one is the hire order for these vendors. And all are in the book status. So order is booked now. Okay. If at all we need to email the orders to the vendor directly, we can click on this email option and you can type in the message body and this one. The work order will directly get attached to this one. And if we define the contacts for that business partner, the 2 will automatically show up. It will take from the contact of the business partner. So I'll just add the contacts. So if at all we define the contacts in the business partner, same contacts will pull up in the order screen in this contact details.
Can you send to internal team also?
Yes, you can send it to internal team also. So I'll just click here and I'll send it to Excel and I can mark.
Right? Can we write multiple emails into?
Yes.
You have to put comma. Normal email.
You can put the comma here and add the other guys.
Syed, before that you have to add in contacts, no?
Yeah. So if it is contact is not there, we can keep it into the 2, directly input it here and then send this into the system.
Okay.
Okay. So I'll just click on this set and it will send the email to these guys.
No, what I'm asking is if we didn't add in contacts directly also we can send email.
Yes. Auto PO also we can send it out. But let them send it manually first few days and then let them be confident on the system and then system will keep on, because in auto email you don't have to worry about it anything and sometimes it may go the wrong things also. So these are the alerts. So this is the work order email which I just got, whatever body, and it gives the attachments to me. Okay, same work order attachments. So this is the work order email. part. This is the alert once the requisition got approved. This is say that this is info that following requisition is approved, and this will be to the contracts team pointing out, okay, this requisition approved, please look into this. And this is requisition pending for approval alert, which I pointed out to me. So this work order was pending for approval, and it says that work is pending for the approval. So whoever is the approver will get this notification whenever document is in the queue. Okay. So these are the notification parts, sending the email parts. So you'll get the email alerts as well as you'll have the system alerts over here to go and see whether that record is there or not. And once it gets approved or anything, that goes into the solved items. So it will go into the solved items under this one. Okay. So these were the key factors which need to be shown in this session for the labor hire and work request. Okay. So after raising this one, you can see that estimation budget for these line items got used. So I'm just adding the amounts. So we approved one PO for this one, internal wall and ceiling painting. So it is saying that this is available amount, this is budget amount, this is the available amount, and this is the use amount. So based on the uses, it will start giving you the trade. So how much was the allocated amount, what is the available amount, and what is the use amount under that activity for that PBS. It will keep on recording as soon as you release the orders. If you cancel it, you'll have to get hello.
So similarly in lump sum also we can see the use. No, can you show that
Yes,
as well?
yes. So yeah, so this is about estimation, and for the lump sum also, I'll just close the tabs. This is project I selected about the City of Joy. Asset hire. Here I used one items with 200 work order I created. So 200 got used in this one, and the available budget is 49,800. Okay. So as soon as you create the orders, the used amounts gets added, and the available budget amount keep on reducing for that lump sum block for that item category, and for that previous activity also. So this will be the budget availability. You can check with this one. Okay. And should we show that revision of the ceiling budget also, detail budget?
Show the break, take a break, and
yeah. So after the break, hello.
Yeah, no. I think we'll finish the revision part now, Syed, and take a break. And after break, what we should do is we will show all the reports and address all the questions or doubts that we might have.
Okay.
Now we have one question.
Yeah, tell.
Can you go to request screen? Work order request screen.
Yeah.
how you are taking the activity should come from the estimation, right?
Yes, yes.
So because I have not seen anywhere any BBS anything here.
I showed the PBS. No, I'll create one more activity for you.
One more work request. Right?
Work request. Yeah. So I selected the work request. I selected the project. I selected the block. I'll click on this add PR lines. Here you can see the PBS code, PBS name, the product.
Product means activity. It is subcontractor activity.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
But that field name and all you
So
have to
against this
change,
PBS
otherwise
code,
you will get confused.
yeah. So here there is still 500 are left. I can create for the 100 and add it to the lines.
Okay.
Okay, and
So
again
only
the
estimated quantities.
sorry.
So I'm just saying, so adding to what you said, so that window will only show estimated lines. So if let's say
Yes.
estimated quantity is completely released, next time when we come to that, that line will not be shown anymore.
Well,
And if let's say
okay.
we cancel one requisition, that line will start showing up again because you released the quantity there.
Okay. And another one is how SAC code. Who is creating SAC codes? Whether it is default in the system or it is supported by accounts.
That call will be purely in the alliance team who will be creating. So
So
the
it will
BFC.
be, so it will be centrally maintained. So we are, see, there will be, of course, we will recommend only accounts team to create. But in the beginning, most of the SAC codes will be uploaded by us, right? So as a single shot, we'll upload. If a new SAC code has come,
Because
just
always
use
this
and add it.
confusion, even now also the confusion is there because vendor follows some SAC code, via our accounts team follows some SAC code, it never match.
That provision I will tell you. See that we have given. So what we have done is, say sometimes we have released work order with one SAC code, let's say, but he has submitted bill with a different SAC code,
Yes.
right? That can happen, but in that matter, our accounts team wants to stick to whatever SAC code the vendor has given because he must have filed the
Yes.
GST returns using that SAC code,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
So we have given an option in the invoice to overwrite the product level SAC code. So product will say, let's say 9981 as the SAC code, but in invoice we can change it. So that way, when GST deposited by vendor, vendor has submitted.
Okay,
Yeah.
this is
Otherwise,
corrected by the accounts team.
Yes.
accounts team, it is a screen. USA, but they will not have rights to modify all the things that account not be able to post.
We are asking them to correct only the tax related queries only because they are only going to take input, output, and all.
Yes.
They will correct it. They will correct it. And
Yeah.
what will happen is we will have to create codes for the
But
same.
I am not getting your voice correctly.
That problem. Yeah. So to address that, we have given that.
Harish, your voice is breaking.
Your voice is not clear.
It will be centrally maintained. So accounts team will create in the beginning, and going forward also either accounts team or there is an let's say that will be same, right? Vandana, me, Gopi, and Arvind. So we are reviewing the SAC codes, new SAC codes.
Okay, and the TDS part, how to handle TDS? Because now we are very much tuned to
I think maybe
TDS.
after that we'll show how to add TDS that also.
Okay, but it should be there. Otherwise, our contact will come and ask because no one is there accounts to respond to their queries. And we are only forced to respond their queries. So TDS also should be visible in the work order itself.
And we discuss, see, one training session, right? A better
No,
practice.
I am not getting your voice correctly. But no.
Can you follow me?
No,
No,
not
Harish, your
fully.
voice is breaking. Can you just disconnect and connect it back?
My voice is breaking out.
Yeah,
Yes.
in between it is, we are missing few words. Yeah, he's joining back. Hold on, guys.
So,
Hello?
Yan Prakash?
Yeah,
Sayed?
yeah.
Yes, yes, I can hear you now. I think you again
No.
lost. You're talking something? I don't see you're talking something. Now you're telling something, but we can't hear you.
So I'll try to explain slowly again. Yes, part. See,
No, your voice is still
is
breaking. Harish, we are not able to hear you correctly.
Yeah, you.
so fine, Sayed. Why don't you Vandana, you or Sayed, can you try?
So regarding the TDS part,
Yes.
so
Yeah, that is what SSC code will be maintained by finance. If there is anything new, we can add.
What was
All tax part will be taken.
hello. Yeah, so the GST codes
Hello?
will be encoded by the account teams. At first, that will, yeah. So SSC code, HSN code, all the things
Accounts
will
team.
import at one time. And if any new things is there, so either Arvind or Vandana or Gopi or Harish, anybody can log in into the system and create the relevant GST products for you. The TDS
Yeah. If there is any change in the tax rate, finance will give reply on that.
yes. So
Against that SSC code.
yeah. And for the TDS wise, account recommends to have the TDS GL codes in the master. Based on that, they can determine the what is the TDS percentage for that guy. So what they will do, they will create the TDS sections name, which will be added here, which will be 94J or 94C, whatever. So those TDS, they will link it to this business partner and the same percentage. So let's suppose if I create the TDS ledger in the system, which will be same will be referred by the account team also. Okay, so in this, they'll define the TDS as non-corporate associate 94J and 94C, and then they'll keep on defining the percentage to that TDS into this window. So it could be 10%, 94C, corporate, and this TDS section will be linked to the business partner in the TDS GL section. You can see here the two TDS codes has been added, and based on this, account team will be debiting the TDS to the vendor account. It could be 94C, 94J based on his PAN or whatever criteria they are following to that one. So as soon as you link to this one, we can take the TDS percentage and show it into the work order also, saying that this much percentage expect to be deducted from the your bill. So this is the plan for now to map the TDS percentage either to the individual or the company, and what service they are giving. Based on that, we'll tag to that business partner. Okay, so the account team has to only check only the vendor and what service is giving, and they will mark the TDS section for that one. So it could be 10 or 2. Is that clears your doubt? But anything else you want to add in this one?
I was putting some things in chat. See, there are a couple of places.
Yeah.
We will percentage, and he will provision to give based on TDS deduction. But since
No, we are not.
Yeah, so basically Harish point is that we need to tag the TDS percentage to the business partner, and from that point only the TDS calculation will be taken care.
Yeah, that is correct. That's what I am also saying. Because business partner is created by the credit buyers only.
But Anna mentioned some points on
Yeah, in the chat. Yeah, he also mentioning the same thing only, saying that it will be linked in the master only, because if any change in the TDS section also, account team can check it out and change the go to the vendor definition and change the TDS percentage, and from that point onwards it will be applicable.
Because billing team should not add any TDS and all on their own. They should follow the whatever work order terms only. If we give TDS, it is already configured with their business.
Yeah, in that also,
but technically, the nature of work is well known because they are defined. But
hello.
Harish, can you call me? I'll put it to you on the speaker, and then you can hear. These guys can hear you clearly.
Me, or maybe I'll switch to phone connection. Let me see.
Yeah, please switch. No,
I'm getting very good speed at office.
Yeah, but your voice is not clear.
That's what there is.
Voice is not audible.
How is it now?
Yeah, now better.
Okay.
So
what I was saying, see, again, Prakash, I understand, because the right person to understand the nature of work is contracts person. So what
Yes,
you said
correct.
is right. But since TDS is being deposited by accounts team, the final right ideally should be theirs, right? Because they are paying the TDS and they are paying the interest rates on the, let's say, a tax auditor has come. He says, no, I don't care what you show me on paper. I want you to pay 10% on this.
Yeah, that is correct. The final decision is tax part accounts only. That we are not denying.
Correct. So, see, the reason why it has been set in that way is we will define the sections in order, right? In order, we will let the contracts team set the section, right? So that way, whoever is using that document, they will know that what section has been decided for that order, right? 197, whether it is 2%, 10%, or 1%, it will be decided. But that figures are not calculated in order. The figures we will calculate in the invoice. Whenever we are raising the RA bill, the TDS amount will be shown as a deduction, based on whatever you entered in the order. And if any government rule has changed by them, so we will put that particular TDS percentage. This will be done by the QSN billing team.
No, QS billing team should not enter any TDS part and tax part also. Accounts okay, but QS billing should not do any
No,
TDS correction.
even if they enter, see, it is automatically coming. So what we are saying is we are asking them to review it, right? In case if someone is at a future point wants to enter it, they will have that option. But that is not the final document. Whatever they are reviewing and confirming it, accounts team will have the right to overwrite it and post it.
No, that's
they
the reason
should
what
post
we will bypass this QS team, big billing team, because whatever the TDS we are applying in the order or based on the business partner, it is coming. It should be evaluated by the accounts team only directly. QS team,
Okay.
What is
Okay, understood. What you are saying is
Yeah.
you want to remove the TDS rights from QS team.
yes.
That I think we can. So that is actually a deduction button. So we will give posting button and deduction button only to accounts team.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
QS and billing team will only see what has been applied automatically. They can only review it.
Yes.
They will not
Correct.
be able to change it.
Yes.
Yeah, that is what he is explaining. If there is anything change in the TDS part, finance can change that directly.
Yes.
Correct.
Correct.
Okay, understood.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Same applies to retention also, right?
Yes. Yes. Retention also same. And then retention release option also it is there, right?
Yes. So at the end, you will be able to go to any particular document, request for release, and accounts team will get a like let's say notification to pay it in the next payment cycle.
Okay.
Retention release is usually done by QS team or contracts team.
No, billing team only.
Billing team only,
QS
no? Okay.
It is from site only. It has to process from site only. Retention
Okay. No, that we put that in our in session in QS and billing session. That's why I was asking whether to show it now.
No, retention release, it's billing part only.
Okay, so I think it's maybe 3:30. We'll take a break, half an hour. Is it fine, everyone?
Yeah, okay,
Yes.
half an hour.
But once we come back, maybe we will do for another 1.5 hour maximum. But what we will be covering is mainly we will cover the revision part.
Yes.
Let's say whenever we'll start with reports. Maybe we'll show some reports, and let's say in reports you realize that you are out of budget. How you can revise the budget, and then we'll show the DLR and DPR report. It is kind of not linked to any of these steps, but that is something the project managers will maintain. So we wanted to show that as well. Okay,
Okay.
we'll cover that, and we'll discuss about the practice sessions also, how we can do the practice sessions, and we will try to agree on what to be done and by when we will all finish that, and what kind of support you all will need. Maybe we'll connect and do parallelly. So we'll discuss all that specifics also from
Okay.
4 o'clock.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Thank you, everyone. Please connect by 4 o'clock sharply.
Yes.
We'll send maybe a separate meeting session, not this one. Okay. You can check
Okay.
your email and join that.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.